early 30s, Churchill's very much out of the picture, and Hitler's on the come up. So I think he's either just became chancellor or he's just about to become chancellor. And one of the fascinating things that when you really study history, is how blurry it is at the time. So I always use the example of the Roman Empire. I think it's like 476 AD is when the Roman Empire fell. But if you ask, well, when did the people recognize it fell? And it's a bit like, the same with the British Empire. Like, when did the British Empire fall? It's like, like you could point to certain parts of World War I, you could go further back, you could go to World War II, you could go to the 60s, 70s, whenever you want to go to it. When do people actually recognize the thing? It's always later. And even like Hitler, like Churchill, who obviously ends up becoming Hitler's like nemesis, was intrigued by a dinner with him. So there was this guy called Ernst Putzi Hangelsfagen. You can probably search that one, Jared. And good luck. And he was like a socialite in Germany who wanted to arrange the meeting. And Churchill basically said, listen, he was really concerned about communism at the time, but he was also concerned with Hitler's anti-Semitism. So Putzi says, well, come through. I'll introduce you to Adolf. You guys will get on really well. Churchill turns up. He's got his whole family there. And kind of chatting to Putzi. He's still not here. Still not here. So they kind of have dinner. Hitler's not there. And Churchill's like, where is he? So Putzi goes, leave it with me. So Hitler famously lives in an apartment building in Berlin. So he goes to his apartment building. Shit you not, Hitler's there, just shaving his mustache. So he's just shaving his mustache at the time. Because you've got it. That's the thing about his mustache. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into that thing. So he's shaving the mustache, and he goes, Winston Churchill, very important British politician, wants to meet you. And he's like, what am I going to say to him? What am I going to say? I have no interest in talking to that guy. And Putzi like argues with him for ages. And he goes, right, I'll come. So he goes back, tells Churchill and his family sit there. Hitler never comes. So Putzi says, I'll set it up the next day. Sets up another dinner. Hitler never comes. And it's like those moments of history that if those two met, because famously, I didn't realize this until I was reading about it recently, that Chamberlain met Adolf Hitler. He flew over to Germany and he was impressed. Do this, give us a handshake. He was impressed by the handshake because Hitler does these like double handshakes. And he was drawn in by his charisma and believed, oh, this guy will never invade. But it's just this fascinating counterfactual that if Adolf and Winston met, what would have happened?
What year was that?
I want to say 31, 32, around about then.